Lauryn was born on May 26, 1975. She is a rapper, singer, songwriter and actress. She is best remembered for being part of the Fugees and for her hit solo album, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, which went 8 times platinum in the United States and multi-platinum all over the world. Lauryn Hill received the staggering 10 Grammy nominations in 1999, of which she won 5. She was the first woman ever to be nominated that many times in one year. The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill was the first hip-hop album to win the Grammy Award for Album of the Year. The album broke several records and sold over 8 million copies in the US and 13 million worldwide. It propelled her to international superstardom, and she is credited for helping to bring hip-hop and neo-soul into the mainstream. Lauryn had huge success with the Fugees too. They had 2 studio albums, including The Score, which went 6 times platinum in the US, 5 times platinum in the UK, and sold millions worldwide. They are best known for hits such as Fugee, Killing Me Softly, Ready or Not. They won a Grammy for the Best Rap Album. Lauryn was praised for her voice and her rapping ability. From the start, it was obvious she was multi-talented and not like any other artist. One of our earliest introductions to Lauryn Hill was through movies. She starred alongside Whoopi Goldberg in Sister Act 2, but she began acting well before that. Watch for more on Lauryn Hill's net worth, back then and now in 2020. Did she stop her own bag and miss out on earning millions more? Lauryn was raised in South Orange, New Jersey. This is a quiet suburban area, considered one of the best areas to live in New Jersey. Close to Manhattan, the area is a melting pot of different cultures. Lauryn said she grew up around many different influences and was exposed to people from a wide range of backgrounds. Her mother was an English teacher and her dad was a computer tech consultant. Lauryn loved learning. She attended Columbia High School, where she met Pras and Wyclef Jean. She was an A student who took advanced placement classes and was very active in extracurricular activities. She formed a gospel choir in school and took violin lessons. Lauryn said she learned a lot outside of school too, just from life experiences. Her family were very musical, and she grew up listening to Stevie Wonder, Donny Hathaway and Jackie Wilson, mainly male singers. This was believed to have influenced her singing style and led to her distinctive raspy vocals. My parents had a love for music. There were so many records, so much music constantly being played. My mother played piano, my father sang, and we were always surrounded by music, she said. Lauryn would listen to her mother's old records and play them constantly. She said while everyone was listening to New Edition, she was listening to Gladys Knight and the Pips, Shep and the Limettes, all the music her mother grew up on. She would even go to sleep listening to Marvin Gaye's What's Going On. She discovered she could rap too while performing with Pras and Wyclef. She would practice her flow and was inspired by male rappers such as Ice Cube. She would do her homework in the bathroom of hip-hop clubs while out performing. Then she decided to do acting lessons in Manhattan and landed her first gig in an MC Light off-Broadway show in 1991. The show flopped, but Lauryn was noticed by an agent. Lauryn had success as an actress at an early age. One of her early roles was in As the World Turns, and of course in Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit, released in 1993. Sister Act 2 made $57.3 million. It was a huge success and gave Lauryn iconic status as an actress before she became a megastar in music. The Fugees released Blunted on Reality in 1994 and The Score in 1996. The Score took the group to a whole nother level of fame. Then they disbanded. It was later revealed that Lauryn and Wyclef had a romantic relationship that didn't end well. In his autobiography, Purpose, Wyclef wrote that his tumultuous affair with Lauryn caused the breakup of the Fugees. They began dating in the early days of the Fugees and continued hooking up even after Wyclef got married. Fans had no idea what was going on at the time, behind the scenes, as their second album, The Score, took off. When Lauryn got pregnant with her first son, Zion, she tried to convince Wyclef that the boy was his, even though the real father was Bob Marley's son, Rohan Marley. Wyclef found out about the lie and things never recovered from that. In that moment, something died between us. I was married and Lauryn and I were having an affair. But she led me to believe that the baby was mine, and I couldn't forgive her for that, he said. She could no longer be my muse. Our love spell was broken. The group sold over 6 million albums, and no doubt a third studio album would have more than likely been a success. Fans can't help but think that the group's legacy was abruptly halted. We never got to see them reach their full potential. They could have had even more of a bigger impact on hip-hop. But it was not meant to be. They performed together 10 years later at the BET Awards, but nothing else came of the group. Speaking of her time in the Fugees, Lauryn said, "The Fugees was a conspiracy to control, to manipulate, and to encourage dependence," she told Trance magazine at the time. "I took a lot of abuse that many people would not have taken in these circumstances." Referring to Wyclef, she said, "As a young woman, I saw the best in everyone, but I did not see the lust and the insecurities of men. I discovered what a lie was and how lies manifested themselves." So Lauryn went on to pursue her solo career, and the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill was born. This is still considered one of the best albums in hip-hop history. Afterwards, she became reclusive. Lauryn went on to have 6 children, 5 of which are with Rohan. Disappointed with the music industry and dealing with the effects of fame, Lauryn left the public eye. She released a live album in 2002 via MTV Unplugged. It debuted and peaked at number 3 on the Billboard 200. It sold 1 million copies in the US and Canada, going platinum in both countries. The album had mixed reviews. In Entertainment Weekly, David Brown said it was perhaps the most bizarre follow-up in the history of popular music. He appreciated her poetic flow, but found it exhausting to hear Hill's strummed sermons directed at unspecified enemies and soul crushers. Fans had waited 6 years for Lauryn to finally release new music, so the expectation was extremely high. So for some, it was anticlimactic. Others were just simply happy to see her back and hoped she would be more consistent going forward. It was not meant to be. The album did not reach anywhere near the level of success as the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. That would have always been a hard album to follow, regardless. She did a few festival appearances here and there, but she kept a low profile for many years. Radio DJ Jay Smooth said that in his opinion, the pressure put on her to save the hip-hop generation from itself might have broken her. She was also a busy mother. Over the past 10 years, she's had 5 children, he said. Her MTV Unplugged album, which came out in 2002, seemed to reveal a person-worn thin. In 2013, Lauryn was charged with tax evasion and had to endure many court appearances, thrusting her back into the spotlight against her will. 37 at the time, she was charged with 3 counts of knowingly and willfully failing to make an income tax return to the IRS. On Tumblr, she denied the allegations against her, writing, "It was critically important that I find a suitable pathway within which to exist, without being distorted or economically strong-armed. Failure to create a non-toxic, non-exploitative environment was not an option. This only stopped when it was necessary to withdraw from society, in order to guarantee the safety and well-being of myself and my family." So in other words, she wasn't trying to break the law. She just needed to isolate herself from society for her well-being. She tried to come off the grid, so to speak, and didn't keep up with her financial affairs. Between 2005 and 2007, she reportedly made $1.8 million. The federal court document stated it was between this time that Lauryn failed to pay taxes. The amount gives some insight into how much Lauryn made simply through royalties and residuals from her past work, because she really didn't work much from the early 2000s. Obviously, the danger I faced was not accepted as reasonable grounds for deferring my tax payments, as authorities, who despite being told all of this, still chose to pursue action against me, as opposed to finding an alternative solution, she said. She eventually pled guilty to the charges and was sentenced to 3 months in jail for tax evasion. In recent years, Lauryn has gained a reputation for showing up extremely late to shows. Her lateness has ranged from 1 hour to 4 hours. Many fans have lost patience with her over the years and are simply hesitant to buy tickets to her shows now. And reviews have been very mixed. Not only was she known for her lateness, her concerts have been plagued with sound issues and technical difficulties. Not surprising, as she probably missed numerous sound checks with her being so late. In Lagos, Nigeria, for one of her shows, where fans were expecting dinner during the performance, she was so late they were given breakfast instead. In 2016, photos were leaked showing her rehearsing with The Weeknd for the Grammys that year, but he ended up appearing alone without her. According to her rep, Hill's appearance was never officially confirmed. Recording Academy president Neil Portnow disputes that, claiming that Hill was late to the show. "She didn't get into the building on time," he told reporters. "If I have to be someplace on time, I figure out how to do that." She was 3.5 hours late for one show in Pittsburgh. She apologised on social media, promising to make it up to fans with a new date, only to cancel the show entirely the following month, citing scheduling difficulties. A great deal of an artist's income is from live performances. It really is their bread and butter. So to cancel shows and to have fans reluctant to attend due to lateness and production quality is going to affect their bag, regardless of how high of a calibre the artist is. There's only so much people can take, and her last major album, and only major solo album, was over 20 years ago. Her core fan base are grown and haven't got time for that. She must have lost out on opportunities to make millions of dollars over the years due to her absence from the industry. Her net worth in 2020 is reportedly $8 million. Not too bad, but compared to other artists who she has paved the way for, it could have been a lot higher. At the peak of her career, according to Celebrity Net Worth, Lauryn made in excess of $25 million touring. So jeopardising the reputation of her shows is throwing money down the drain. However, money isn't everything, and most of the industry would love to have that net worth. She has made it clear that she took time away for her mental, emotional, and even physical well-being. When asked why she stopped putting out music, she said, "There were a number of different reasons, but partly the support system that I needed was not necessarily in place. There were things about myself, personal growth things, that I had to go through in order to feel it was worth it." In fact, as musicians and artists, it's important we have an environment, and I guess when I say environment, I really mean the music industry, that really nurtures these gifts. Oftentimes, the machine can overlook the need to take care of the people who produce the sounds that have a lot to do with the health and well-being of society, or at least some aspect of society. And it's important that people be given the time that they need to go through, to grow, so that the consciousness level of the general public is properly affected. Oftentimes I think people are forced to make decisions prematurely, and then that sound radiates. With 6 kids, it's understandable that she struggled to get back into music. She has stated in the past that when her youngest child was 2, only then did she feel comfortable leaving him to work. But at the time, her children were her motivation to start touring and earning again. Recently, her 21-year-old daughter gave some insight into growing up with Lauryn Hill for a mother. In her Instagram Live, the young model detailed the dual long-term effects of growing up with an absent father and being physically disciplined. She described her mother as very angry growing up. She later called out media outlets for highlighting the negative aspect of her life and sought to clarify what she said. In the follow-up video, she said that she spoke from a personal place of healing and did not intend for viewers to contact her parents with hateful comments. Were you surprised by Lauryn Hill's reported net worth? Do you think fans will still support her despite her reputation being tarnished in recent years? And do you understand why she left the industry and stopped putting out new music? Thanks for watching. Share your thoughts below. Like, comment and subscribe for weekly videos. And don't forget to click the bell for more.